Dear Diary, here we are yet again playing this game. It's sessions like this where I ask myself, why? Why do I keep playing this game? So I can continue this series. And I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of my word. Welcome all fellow wannabes, welcome to the channel. I am Gabriel Fast, and yes, I do claim to be the Wannabe Critic. We're back at it again with the white vans. Today we are continuing our journey through Marvels Avengers, and this time it's the Hawkeye DLC. So it's worth noting that I played around an hour and I got to about 63% of this part of this, this DLC, the second part to Kate Bishop's DLC. And I got a lot to say. So before we get too far into it, I just want to say that there is going to be heavy spoilers for all of Kate Bishop's DLC as well as the Avengers. So if you don't want to get spoiled, this is your last chance. So I was greeted to Marvel's Avengers very early, very early before this play session. I was greeted by a hey, please spend more money on this game screen. And I kind of understand because it was very early in this play session where it all hit me. All the DLC for this game is free, quote unquote, free. How much value does that really add to this game, though, was the question that I found myself asking as I continued to play. Through this session, I just found it to be very sloppy and unfun in a lot of ways. I struggled very early points in the game while trying to play Hawkeye, and yeah, it was just kind of a frustrating experience all around, to be honest with you. Not to mention, after 2 missions, I'm already over halfway through the DLC. Like, that was kind of weird. But anyways, let's recap the story, and I'll give my points, as we continue to go. Starting where we left off from the last DLC, Clint had kind of passed out, and he was like shaking and vibrating and like looked kind of weird at the end of that DLC, that he was sick or something, and he's dreaming, and you can tell he's kind of dreaming in the future a little bit. I guess it's his memories are kind of sucked into the future, and they didn't really explain what was happening to him, but it had to do with the tachyon disruptions. And we're playing as Old Man Hawkeye. I guess on this day, Old Man Hawkeye just kind of decided to just mosey around, the wasteland and follow the signal, to which Roy Pym is trying to broadcast a signal to him through all of these old AIM robots, to which you have to basically traverse the wasteland, which I do have to say the wasteland is pretty cool, and that idea is pretty cool. I always like tinkering with time travel, or the idea of time travel, but in this instance, just don't think too hard about, the rules of time travel here, because time travel nerds will probably be super upset if they think too hard about it. Anyways, we end up, after several fights, we end up being able to reignite this, a time bridge similar to what we saw in the first DLC for Kate Bishop, and then it cuts back to present day. After basically no exposition, we find out that the key to the future is in the past, and current Hawkeye has to go retrieve that key because he knows where it is. Turns out we have to go and save his dog from bad guys. I know that's really weird because he hid his SIM card on his dog. His dog makes it out alive, and now, basically, at the end of this play session, we receive a SIM card that kind of has plans on all of the tachyon disruption, information that he somehow got a hold of. It doesn't tell us. It doesn't tell us any of this. It doesn't tell us why we have to go get this. But anyways, that time bridge that I mentioned before, where it kind of showed, something shooting out of the time bridge, I'm assuming that's going to be the Quinjet, because modifications are going to be able to be made to the Quinjet to where they can send a team into the future. And that's about where I stopped. That's over halfway of the DLC percentage-wise. Halfway. Okay, I have so many thoughts. Now, I do want to reiterate. Yes, this is a free DLC, but why couldn't you just release this all at the same time? Like, I don't know, just to have to wait a while longer just to play a few more missions just kind of seems anticlimactic and kind of dumb. I'm not going to lie. As I said before, it's sloppy. It's not super fun. Hawkeye isn't particularly fun to use at the beginning of this DLC. I found Kate Bishop to be more approachable as a character. His skills are interesting, though. He has a decent, his intrinsic perk is pretty decent. It basically gives him like a second dodge, and it, kind of gives him like a counterattack type of mechanic. He has a sword just like her. He has a bow just like her. His arrows are a little bit different, but still kind of similar. But overall, it just seems kind of like a reskin. Kind of like Marth and, every other Fire Emblem character inside of Smash Bros. Kind of feels like that. one of the biggest things for me this past couple DLCs has been, why are we fighting the same robots over and over? Like, why is there no variety? I mean, the only variety that I fought was the Adaptoid in the very beginning when you're playing as Old Man Hawkeye, and that was just super frustrating. I'm not going to lie. Like, I died to him like 3 times. Granted, it does tell us that you can, you know, be in the harm room. You can learn how to play as Hawkeye. I don't want to go to the harm room to have to learn how to play this character. It's kind of irritating. You should be able to just learn as you play that character. Like, isn't that kind of the point? You know, whenever you get something new in a DLC, aren't you supposed to basically, like, make sure that I understand the basic fundamentals of those changes before you just throw me out in the wild? Don't even give me the option. Just subtly throw it in there. I mean, you throw enough stuff at us in this game that's just pointless, so why not give us something that's actually useful? Side rant. The biggest thing for me that I just can't wrap my head around, you know, and it was the same thing with the last DLC. Why is Monica? Why is it bad? Like, if current Monica is trying to work with future Monica, and, you know, save the world, and like Monica's in on it, and Hawkeye's been her prisoner for a couple of years, why wouldn't she enlist the help of the Avengers? If she has ulterior motives, why not let us in on those now? It just doesn't make any sense. I don't understand the motive. There's no relatable motive behind what, you know, present day Monica is doing. Like her I don't know, maybe there's side story that I missed. I mean, you would think that you wouldn't have to play every single side quest to understand what the main bad guy's motives are, but I don't know, call me crazy. This is a very unorthodox action game. So, some things I found, you know, Clint is less enjoyable to use as Kate, you know, in the hour or so that I played that I noticed. I thought, you know, Kate was more fluid, and Clint is just kind of boring. I mean, not to be that guy, but like, Clint's boring in the Avengers except for Endgame, and he's boring here too. He's just his witty banter just kind of falls flat whenever he's by himself for the most part. There are a couple of scenes in this particular play session where, you know, you were kind of endeared to Kate and Clint's relationship, you know, and you kind of ship that they, you know, care for each other and all that jazz. You do buy that. So that is one positive I will give it. It does give us a bit of good information, though. It lets us know about what cosmic energy is. That cosmic energy essentially affects everything, while tachyon energy affects time. So now we learn that the sim chip that we retrieved essentially has information regarding cosmic energy. It took a while for us to get there, but at least we got there. And I guess that's what it has to do with. I don't know. It's just a mess. It's messy. And it's... There's going to be people in the comments that are like, oh, this, and this is why. And it's like, okay, well, it's not in your face. Like, it's not super duper explained. And it's a mess. It's a mess, and it's rushed. And it seems like that's going to be something that is a big part of the story moving forward. And something that's a big part of the story moving forward is a mess. And there's just no arguing that. So, like I said before, next time we have to look forward. You know, we're going to take the Quinjet into the future. I'm sure we're going to be teaming up with Old Man Hawkeye. It'll probably be a war table there, you know, the whole nine. And, you know, there'll be some side missions that we can do in the future and stuff. But as far as, like, main content, like main story content, which is what I'm all for, you know, is main story content, there's just not a whole lot of setup right now. And just so you know, I am going to be doing an episode where I solely just focus on the other missions that I'm not, you know, tackling. Like, it's just going to be, for right now, it's just going to be a main story. But, you know, we have a while until, you know, War for Wakanda comes out. So I'm going to be making some more videos on side content. You know, there's going to be more Dear Diaries of of the side missions and stuff that you can do. I'm going to judge it in the same type of light and same type of manner that I've been judging this. But I'm not excited I'm not excited. I wasn't excited to play this game. I wasn't excited to load back in and fight the same 5 enemies that I've been fighting for the past, you know, 15, 20 hours now at this point. So I'm ready for something to change, and I'm ready for, I don't know, I'm just ready for something different. Just please give me something different. Is that too hard to ask for? I mean, you know, anyways. But what are you thinking of this game? I mean, do you love this game? Am I way off base? Like, am I missing the point? I am kind of missing the point because I'm not able to play with friends. But any good game, right, should be able to be approached from multiple angles. That's not necessarily true, but still, I should be able to load into this game and have just as much fun and at least have a really good time by myself and not have to rely on getting, an extra 3 players to join me at the same time. So, anyways, that's Dear Diary for today. Thank you so much for listening. If this is your first time here, consider subscribing. It would mean the world. And before I go, check this out. Well, whatever possessed you to check out any of the content that you saw today, I just want to say thank you so much for doing so. If you check the description down below, you'll see that there's a variety of different projects that I'm associated with. This is Wannabe Critic Productions after all. So I just wanted to say, if you enjoyed what you saw today, consider giving some of those other projects a chance as well. There's a lot of stuff that I'm a part of that that I do. If you were here for me or for someone else that you saw today, again, just thank you for checking it out, and I hope to see you again. But until next time, I'm Gabriel Fast, and I'll always be the Wannabe Critic.